Alright, back again. This is American Samurai, and today we're going to be reviewing a comic from that was in this book. So we'll be looking. This will be from Ray Follett section. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures from Archie Comics. Teenage Mutant Turtle Adventures number 16, originally published by Archie Comics. Originally published from 1991, stripped by Dean Clarion. Pencils by Ken Michelini. Inks by Dan Berger. Colors by Barry Grossman. And letters by Gary Fields. First, some interesting facts here about the Archie Comics continuity. Archie Comics continuity is considered its own universe. Mostly, it would reprint stories from the original Fred Wolf cartoon up until Season 2, The Incredible Shrinking Turtle. After that, at the Eye of Shiva storyline, it would go into its own separate universe. That is where the divergence goes after The Incredible Shrinking Turtles. Then the continuity would go more the stories would go darker and more eco-friendly, would go into more eco-friendly stories. Ray Follett in this universe is often refers to himself as Man Ray. And this story is itself very eco-friendly. And also, in this universe, the tmnt stories would tend to be darker, as there's a lot more death in the Archie Comics universe than there is in the 80s. I mean, there's really little death in the original 80s cartoons. But there's a lot of death in the Archie Comics, including to the point where I believe an entire team of mutants is actually killed in the Archie Comics universe. The Mighty Mutanimals and even the character of Slash ends up heroically sacrificing himself. That comic isn't in here. I've been doing some research on the history of the Archie Comics. This marks the return of Ray Follett. If you noticed, one of the turtles is all in black. That's actually Raphael. At the present time, I believe he is currently in his wrestling outfit. There's a storyline in Archie Comics, I believe, where the turtles were in an intergalactic wrestling league called Stump, and Raphael was in a black wrestling outfit. I think the reason he's wearing this right now is because I believe he had recently broken up with his girlfriend, who was a ninja fox, I believe, and I believe the reason he's wearing that is because he's in a dark mood. I could be wrong. He may be wearing that because he just wants to wear it because it helps him stand out. There are two different reasons why he wears the uniform, but I think he removes it for a while and then goes back to wearing it after he breaks up with the fox. So I'm not sure where we're at in the Archie Comics continuity at this time. I've studied history, but I don't know where this comic lays in that history. As we see, he's in a better mood, so he's actually taking off the mask. It's weird to see Raphael without the bandana. And you see the turtles interact with the actual turtles here, so this is probably what you've seen in the famous. I think this is usually what's depicted when you see the Archie Comics universe, the turtles riding on turtles. I'm being captured. This is where we meet with Ray Follett and his little friend, who, spoiler alert, his little buddy here does get killed in the issue by the bad guy. Ray Follett is basically just kind of assigned himself as a protector of these little guys. So yeah. I find these guys who are polluting the ocean, he gets mad. Like, I mean, he hulks out. You know, the turtles in the moment, the turtles managed to escape. With the help of their friends, the sea turtles. And they think Ray's dead, but we know that he's alive because we see Ray putting a monument to his fallen ally. And then Ray is later made part of the Mighty Mutant Animals team. Overall, it's a good story. I'd give it a 4 out of 5. Like I said, I know some stuff about I studied some stuff about the Archie comics history continuity, and their stories tend to be more ecocentric after the Incredible Shrinking Turtle. In fact, there's even a whole arc that you could only get by through a group called the Turtles Club, I think is what it's called on Facebook. That is the last arc of the supposed Archie comics thing, because they literally fired the guy who did the stories because his stories were getting too dark. Remember, this is supposed to be a kids comic in the 80s and 90s. In fact, there's a whole thing of Archie comics they can't even publish, mainly due to racial insensitivity. But yeah, that was my review of Archie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures issue 16. 4 out of 5. That's the first one I've ever read from this series. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you ever read the tmnt Archie Adventures? Were you a big fan? Were you upset that the final story arc was never officially published? Alright, let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you were a fan of the Mighty Mutant Animals and didn't like what happened to them at the end. Alright, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon if you're new. Keep your nose in a book, and your face and your feet on the ground. And I'll see you next time. Comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon if you're new. We'll see you next time.